Loss. It doesn't ask. It doesn't warn you. It doesn't care who you are. It just takes. One day, you have something. The next, it's gone. And suddenly, you're standing in the wreckage of what used to be. A relationship, a dream, a person, a life you thought was certain. Gone. And now you have a choice. You can stay down. You can cry, scream, and beg for life to go back to the way it was. You can let the weight of that loss break you. Or you can wake up, because loss is not just an ending. It's a lesson, a transformation, a rebirth. And the people who understand this, they don't just survive loss. They come back stronger than ever. You see, most people don't change until they have to. They stay comfortable. They stay asleep. They live in illusions, pretending things will last forever. But when loss rips that illusion away, there's no more pretending, no more excuses, no more waiting. Loss is a filter. It separates the weak from the strong. It shows you who you really are. And if you're still standing, if you're still breathing, that means it wasn't the end of you. So what now? You have seen what happens when you take things for granted. You have learned in the most brutal way possible that nothing is guaranteed. So what are you going to do? Sit there and mourn the past? Wish for things to be the way they were? Or use this fire to rebuild yourself into something unstoppable? Because here's the truth. The old you is gone. Loss changed you. You cannot go back. You cannot unsee what you now know. You cannot unknow how quickly everything can be taken from you. And that means you can either let this truth destroy you, or you can let it forge you. Some people get broken by loss. They become weaker, softer, more afraid. They let the fear of losing again keep them from ever trying. But others, they become dangerous, not reckless, not cruel, but unshakable, because they've already faced the worst. They've already seen what happens when life takes everything. They know how dark it can get. And instead of fearing it, they learn to use it. That's the choice in front of you now. Will you be the person who surrenders, or the one who rises? Because loss is not the end. It's the beginning. And the ones who survive it, they never lose again. You've been through it. You felt the weight of losing something you thought would always be there. You know what it means to have life take without warning. And now you are standing at a crossroads. One road leads back to who you were before. Weak, blinded by comfort, waiting for things to go your way. The other, it's the path of someone who will never be caught off guard again. Because here's the truth. The strongest people you know were built by loss. You think warriors were born with their mindset? You think the unshakable ones were always this way? No, they were made by pain, made by suffering, made by the moments that could have broken them but didn't. The difference between them and everyone else, they didn't run from the pain. They studied it. They absorbed the lesson. They understood that loss was the best teacher they ever had. And that's where you are now. Because loss is not just about what's taken from you. It's about what's left behind. What's left when the people you counted on disappear. What's left when the dreams you built collapse. What's left when you have to stand alone. You. That's what's left. And if you're still here, still standing, still breathing, that means you have more to do. But listen carefully. If you don't learn from this, if you don't evolve, if you don't let this turn you into something greater, then the loss was for nothing. And that is the real tragedy. Not what was taken, not what's gone. The real tragedy is when people go through hell and come out weaker. They let their pain define them. They let fear control them. They become afraid to take risks, afraid to trust, afraid to live. And do you know what happens to those people? They lose again. They lose before the fight even begins. They let life walk all over them. They keep waiting for things to be fair, for things to go their way. But life doesn't work like that. And if you don't get up, if you don't sharpen yourself, if you don't use this loss to become something more, then one day you're going to wake up and realize that you didn't just lose something, you lost yourself. That's why you have only one option now. You have to evolve. Not later. Not when you feel ready. Right now. Because life will not wait for you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to make this easier. It's on you. So tell me, what are you going to do? Because I'll tell you what the ones who never lose again do. They take the pain, the loss, the disappointment, and they turn it into power. They don't cry over the past. They don't beg for things to be different. They get dangerously focused. They wake up earlier. They move in silence. They stop seeking validation. They work when no one is watching because they know something most people don't. Loss didn't make them weaker. It made them hungry. And when you get hungry, when you stop feeling sorry for yourself, when you accept that no one owes you anything, that's when you become the kind of person who never loses again. You're starting to see it now, aren't you? This world doesn't wait for the weak. It doesn't care about your excuses. It takes. And the only way to survive, the only way to come out on top, is to become so strong that nothing can break you again. Because life will test you. Again and again. You think this was the last loss you'll ever face? You think this was the worst pain you'll ever feel? Think again. There will be more. More disappointments. More betrayals. More moments where you'll feel like you're standing in the ruins of what you once believed in. And every single time, you will have a choice. Will you be the one who collapses or the one who rises? Because loss has already given you the greatest gift. It showed you the truth. It showed you who was really there for you and who wasn't. It showed you what was real and what was just an illusion. It showed you what you need and what was just weighing you down. Most people never get that kind of clarity. They live in a dream. They walk through life blind. They convince themselves that everything will stay the same forever, until it doesn't. And then they break, but not you. Not anymore. Because now you see the game. You see how things can be ripped away in an instant. You see how dangerous it is to be weak, unprepared, or too comfortable. And you will never make that mistake again. You will never get caught off guard again. Because from now on, you will move differently. You will think differently. You will operate like someone who has already lost everything once and refuses to lose again. That means no more wasted time. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more letting your emotions control you. It means waking up with discipline, moving with intention, building yourself so strong that no matter what life throws at you, you will never break. Because people who have truly faced loss, people who have felt everything collapse around them, they are the most dangerous ones. They don't hesitate. They don't second guess. They don't waste time chasing things that don't serve them. They move with a purpose. They cut off the distractions. They eliminate the weak parts of themselves. And they never look back. Because the past is gone. What was taken is gone. The old version of you, gone. The only thing left now is what you choose to become. So what's it going to be? Another weak soul who never recovered? Or the kind of person who turns pain into pure power? The choice is yours. But remember this, nothing teaches people faster than loss. The only question is, did you learn? You know what separates the weak from the unstoppable? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. It's what they do after they lose. Some people get hit once and never recover. They crawl into a hole. They tell themselves they'll never try again. They spend their lives running from pain, avoiding risks, afraid to lose again. They never rise. And then there are the others, the ones who take that loss, that pain, that devastation, and turn it into something lethal. Because loss is a weapon in the hands of the right person. The right person remembers. The right person uses it. The right person never lets themselves forget what it felt like to be weak. And that's why they never let it happen again. Because the truth is, loss doesn't just teach you, it transforms you. If you let it, it sharpens you. It makes you more aware. It shows you where your blind spots were, where you were too trusting, too soft, too naive. And once you've been through that kind of pain, you see the world differently. You stop expecting life to be fair. You stop waiting for people to care. You stop thinking that just because you worked hard, you're owed something. You realize that the world doesn't owe you a damn thing. And that's when the shift happens. That's when you stop playing by their rules. That's when you stop living on your knees. That's when you take all that pain, all that rage, all that hunger, and you channel it into becoming unstoppable. Because most people, They live in fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being judged. Fear of losing what they have. And that fear controls them. It keeps them small. It keeps them weak. But you've already lost. You've already faced the fire. You've already seen what happens when things fall apart. So what do you have to fear? Nothing. That's the difference. That's the edge. You are no longer afraid to lose. And that makes you dangerous. Because now you move differently. You take risks. You don't hesitate. You stop chasing things that don't serve you. You stop begging for things that were never meant to stay. You stop wasting time trying to hold on to people, opportunities, situations that are already gone. And instead, you build. You build a mind so sharp no one can manipulate you. You build a work ethic so strong no one can outlast you. You build a presence so powerful no one can ignore you. Because now you understand loss was never your enemy. It was your greatest lesson. It was the moment you stopped living like the rest. It was the moment you became something else. And from this point forward, you will never be the same again. You feel it now, don't you? That shift inside you, that fire that wasn't there before. You're no longer the same person, the one who hesitated, the one who doubted, the one who played it safe. That version of you died with your losses. What's left now is something sharper, something stronger, something the world won't see coming. Because the truth is, loss didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It stripped away the illusions. It burned off the weakness. It left only what was real. And what's real is unbreakable. See, most people are held together by comfort. They build their lives on soft ground, relationships, jobs, validation, things that make them feel secure. And when those things are ripped away, they crumble. But not you, not anymore. Because you've learned something they haven't. You've learned that the only foundation worth building is you, not your status, not your possessions, not the opinions of others, just you. Because when you are solid, when you are disciplined, focused, self-sufficient, when you have trained yourself to thrive no matter what happens, there is nothing left to fear, because they can't take anything from you anymore. They can't manipulate you with loss. They can't control you with what they might take away, because you have already lost, and you survived. Do you understand what that means? It means you're free. Free from fear. Free from needing approval. Free from the weakness that chains most people down. That's what loss does. It doesn't just teach you, it liberates you. It removes the distractions. It exposes what actually matters. It makes you realize that at the end of the day, all you truly have is yourself. So from this moment on, you will move differently. You will operate on a different level. You will live by a different set of rules. No more playing small. No more second guessing. No more wasting time on things that do not make you stronger. Because you get it now. Everything you lose is a lesson. Every setback is a setup for something greater. Every failure is fuel. Every betrayal is a lesson in strength. And the ones who learn, the ones who take that pain and forge it into something powerful, they become unstoppable. And that's what you're becoming. Not someone who avoids pain, not someone who fears loss, not someone who waits for life to be easy, but someone who can't be broken, someone who doesn't just survive, but dominates. So let the world do what it will. Let life test you again and again. Let them doubt you, underestimate you, count you out. It won't matter, because no matter what happens next, you will never lose again. There's no turning back now. You've already crossed the line. You're not who you used to be, and you never will be again. And that's a good thing, because the old you, the one who was afraid, the one who second-guessed everything, the one who let emotions, people, and circumstances control them, that person is gone. You are something else now, something that can't be shaken, something that can't be controlled, something that doesn't need anything from anyone. That's the power of loss. It stripped you of everything unnecessary. It forced you to face yourself. It taught you the truth that most people will never learn. The only thing you can ever truly rely on is you, not their promises, not their approval, not their so-called loyalty. People will switch up. Situations will change. What once felt certain will become unstable. And when that happens, you won't break. You won't beg. You won't chase. You'll keep moving. You'll keep building. You'll keep rising, because that's all you know how to do now. No more attachments to things that can be taken away. No more wasted time on people who wouldn't do the same for you. No more trying to prove yourself to people who will never respect you. No more waiting for life to get easier. You are done waiting. You are done hoping. You are done being at the mercy of anything outside of yourself. From this point forward, you are self-made, self-built, self-reliant, because you have learned the deepest, hardest lesson life could teach you. And that lesson wasn't just about loss. It was about who you were always meant to become. Someone stronger than pain. Someone who turns setbacks into weapons. Someone who doesn't need external validation because they already know their worth. And that kind of person can't be stopped, because you can't threaten someone who has already faced their worst fears. You can't manipulate someone who has already learned to walk alone. You can't break someone who has rebuilt themselves from the ground up. And that's exactly what you've done. You have taken everything life threw at you, and instead of letting it bury you, you used it to build something greater. You, the new you, the real you, the one who will never be caught off guard again. Because from now on, every loss, every failure, every painful moment, it won't break you. It won't weaken you. It will only make you more dangerous because you know how to turn pain into power. And the ones who master that, the ones who don't run from loss, but use it, they are untouchable. So let them doubt you. Let them think you're the same person you were before. Let them believe you're still weak. They won't see it coming, but you will. Because the next time life tries to take something from you, the next time someone betrays you, abandons you, underestimates you, the next time you face what used to break you, you won't even flinch. Because you don't fear loss anymore. You don't fear pain. You don't fear anything. You have become the storm. And from this moment forward, you will never be weak again. You've come too far to stop now. You've built yourself from the ashes of everything you've lost. You've sharpened your mind, hardened your spirit, and stepped into a new version of yourself. But here's the truth most people never realize. The tests never stop. Life isn't going to let up just because you've gotten stronger. People won't suddenly treat you better just because you've changed. The challenges won't disappear just because you've evolved. If anything, it's the opposite. Because the higher you rise, the more the world will try to pull you back down. They will test your patience. They will test your discipline. They will test your ability to stay focused. Why? Because the moment you become something greater, you become a threat. A threat to the ones who never grew. A threat to the ones who stayed comfortable. A threat to the ones who are still living in fear. And people hate what they can't control. That's why they'll try to drag you back into their world. They'll throw distractions at you. They'll tempt you with comfort, drama, validation. They'll try to make you feel something again, because the moment you feel, you hesitate. And hesitation, that's the beginning of weakness. But you already know better. You know that nothing matters except the mission. You know that the second you stop moving, stop grinding, stop pushing forward, that's the second they win. And that can't happen. Because you didn't go through hell just to get comfortable. You didn't suffer just to stay the same. You didn't lose everything just to let someone else control your future. So what do? You keep your mind sharp. You keep your focus locked. You keep moving like a ghost through the noise, undistracted, untouchable. You let them talk. You let them doubt. You let them try to pull you back. While you keep rising, because while they're wasting time, while they're stuck in their emotions, while they're still chasing things that don't matter, you're out here building a legacy. And that's the difference. That's why you'll outlast them all. Because this isn't just about surviving anymore. This is about dominating. This is about making sure that the next time life tries to take something from you, the next time someone thinks they can play you, betray you, and break you, they realize too late that you were never the same person to begin with. Because you don't react anymore. You don't explain yourself anymore. You don't seek revenge, validation, or approval. You just keep winning. And that is something no one can take from you ever again. Because you don't fear loss. You don't fear pain. You don't fear anything. You are beyond fear now. You are in control. And nothing will ever break you again. You feel it now, don't you? That cold, unshakable clarity, that ruthless focus, that unbreakable mindset. It wasn't given to you. It wasn't handed down. It was forged in fire. You earned this. Every scar, every betrayal, every night you thought you wouldn't make it. That was the training ground. That was where the weak version of you died. And now you are untouchable. Because once you reach this level, there's no going back. Once you see the truth, you can't unseen it. Once you become strong, nothing weak can ever satisfy you again. And that's why most people don't make it. They cling to their old ways. They stay addicted to their emotions. They chase things that don't matter: approval, comfort, attention. But you've evolved past that. You are beyond needing anything, and that is the most powerful position to be in. Because now nothing controls you. No loss can shake you. No betrayal can break you. No person can manipulate you. You walk into every situation with complete control. You don't beg. You don't explain. You don't react. You just watch. You observe. You calculate. And when the moment is right, you strike. That's the difference now. The old, you would have crumbled. The old, you would have pleaded, complained, gotten emotional. The old, you would have wasted time chasing people, chasing validation, chasing things that didn't matter. But the old you is dead. And the new you is a problem for anyone who thought they could control you. A problem for anyone who doubted you. A problem for the world that thought you would stay weak forever. That version of you doesn't exist anymore. And the ones who haven't realized it yet, they will, soon enough. Because the next time someone underestimates you, the next time life tests you, the next time the world thinks it can push you back down, you won't even flinch. You'll just keep moving, keep grinding, keep stacking your wins while they waste time, wondering how you changed. And when they finally wake up, it'll be too late, because you won't be there anymore. You'll be 10 steps ahead. You'll be on another level, one they will never reach, because you understand something they never will. Loss is not the end. Loss is the beginning. It's not your downfall. It's your evolution. And that's why, no matter what happens next, you will never lose again. You know what makes you dangerous now? It's not your strength. It's not your intelligence. It's not your discipline, though you have all of those. It's your detachment. You don't need them. You don't crave their approval. You don't beg for their time, their love, their validation. And that terrifies people. Because most of them, they're slaves to their emotions. They're controlled by what other people think. They live their lives chasing acceptance, chasing comfort, chasing things that don't matter. But you walk alone. Not because you have to, not because you're weak, but because you choose to. You've learned the hard way. You've felt what it's like to be abandoned. You've seen what happens when you trust too easily. You've watched people switch up on you when they thought you had nothing left. And that was the moment everything changed. Because instead of breaking, instead of crawling back, instead of begging for something that was already gone, you let it all burn. You let them leave. You let them doubt you. You let them think they won. And then you built yourself from nothing. And now, you don't fear being alone. You don't fear losing people. You don't fear anything. Because you know the truth. Every loss was a lesson. Every person who left, they taught you who you really are. Every betrayal, it sharpened your instincts. Every failure, it made you ruthless. And now, you can't be played. You see through the lies. You feel the energy shift before it even happens. You know when someone is genuine and when they're just waiting to take advantage. And because of that, you are untouchable. They can't manipulate you. They can't control you. They can't make you react the way they want you to. And that's why they fear you now. Because they know that no matter what they do, you will never break again. You've mastered something most people never will. The art of letting go. And that is what makes you unstoppable. Because from this point forward, no loss will ever hurt you the same way again. No setback will ever shake you. No betrayal will ever surprise you. Because you don't just survive anymore. You thrive. And the ones who thought you wouldn't make it, they haven't even seen your final form yet. You feel it now, don't you? That shift, that power, that absolute control over yourself, it wasn't always like this. There was a time when you used to react, when people could get inside your head, when their words, their opinions, their absence, it all used to hurt. Not anymore. Because you took your pain and turned it into power. You stopped explaining. You stopped chasing. You stopped hoping people would see your worth. Now, they either recognize it or they get left behind. Because here's the truth. People only respect what they can't control. And you are uncontrollable now. You don't flinch when they leave. You don't break when they switch up. You don't chase when they pull away. Because you understand something they don't. Loss isn't a setback. Loss is a filter. It shows you who is real. It shows you who is weak. It shows you who deserves a seat at your table and who doesn't. And the ones who left, the ones who doubted you, the ones who thought they could walk away and you'd come crawling back, they were never built for where you're going. Let them go. Because the truth is, most people don't know what to do with someone like you. You're not desperate. You're not needy. You don't beg for attention, validation, or love. You are self-sufficient. You are disciplined. You are a force of nature that doesn't wait for permission. And that makes people uncomfortable because they live in fear. They stay in toxic situations just to feel wanted. They accept less than they deserve just to avoid being alone. But you'd rather stand alone than be surrounded by the weak. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. Because the moment you embraced loss, you became untouchable. You learned how to move without attachment, how to grind without an audience, how to succeed without needing anyone's approval. And now you can't be stopped because you don't just survive anymore. You don't just endure. You thrive. And the ones who thought they could break you, the ones who thought you'd stay down, they're about to watch you win from the sidelines. And there's nothing they can do about it. You know what happens when you stop fearing loss? You become a nightmare to those WHO once controlled you. They expected you to break. They expected you to chase. They expected you to fall apart when they walked away. But instead, you got stronger. You let go. You cut the dead weight. You stopped wasting time on people who never deserved you in the first place. And now you are a problem because you don't need them. You don't crave their attention. You don't seek their approval. And people hate that. They hate when they can't manipulate you. They hate when they can't get a reaction out of you. Because most people, they survive off attention. They need to be needed. They need to be chased. They need to feel like they have power over someone. And when you take that away, they panic. They start questioning themselves. They start wondering why you're not reacting. They start realizing they lost something they'll never get back. Because you don't do second chances. Once someone shows their true colors, you believe them. Once someone walks away, you don't open the door again. Once someone takes you for granted, they never get that version of you back. That's the difference now. The old, you would have gone back. The old, you would have explained yourself. The old, you would have tried to prove your worth. But the old you is gone, buried, dead, never coming back. And the new you is a force they can't handle. You move differently now. You think differently now. You operate on a level they can't reach. And the ones who underestimated you, they are about to learn the hard way. Because from this moment forward, you never look back. Nothing teaches people faster than loss. And by the time they realize it, you will be long gone.